Hey everyone, it's Az and Justin here.
Hello.
We are here to bring you a super update from Games Workshop. The Adeptus Mechanicus Codex is available for pre-order from today. Its official release date will be next Saturday, but this is releasing right now for pre-order if you want to get it. And we thought we would take a moment to skim through it, give you some of the highlights. We've just had a bit of a chance to kind of lift out some of the key history, the lore, the characters, the stratagems, the tactics, and we're going to give you a very brief overview so you have an idea what you're going to get.
Okay, I'm going to put my hands up right now.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me knows that I get these guys' name wrong all the goddamn time. So if I start saying Mechanicus, I apologize now. Because I will do it, and I don't mean to do it.
Now, we're not sure if we'll have time to edit in a little counter in the bottom, but maybe you guys at home can keep track in the comments for us. Just give us a counter.
I will try not to do it. I will try not to do it, but it's me.
So let's open up the book.
Yes.
And straight away, I'm just going to show everyone at home some lovely, lovely art inside here.
Ah, yes.
So straight up, we've got some of the Adeptus Mechanicus fighting off some gene stealers.
Yes.
Look at this. Absolutely beautiful detail. I'm a sucker for the art.
Yeah. Oh, the thing is with the Mechanicus, they're probably looking at the Gene Stealer going, could we weaponize that?
Man, a weaponized, well...
They're already weaponized.
Yeah, it's about, yeah.
Could we Imperial weaponize it? You know, stick a laser beam on the side of a Gene Stealer's head. Gene Stealers with freaking laser beams.
Oh man, okay. So, one of your favorite bits, I think, and one of the coolest things for me as well, is that every codex we've seen so far has its own version of the map. So let me see if I can get this completely on the camera for you guys. So, this gives you just an idea. Now, this map you're going to see in every single codex, but each codex has its own version showing all the home worlds. And in this one specifically, it outlines all the bastions of the machine gods. So you've got your Forge worlds, you've got your Mechanicus affiliated Knight worlds, and you've got 15 different little expansion points that's showing how they're moving and spreading out. Yeah. This is something I think Games Workshop are nailing. Yes,
every time. And it actually plays really well into the background of these guys, because the whole point of the Adeptus Mechanicus is they are the only people within the Imperium who make tech.
Ah, okay.
So nobody else builds tanks, builds las guns, builds auto pistols, any of that. It's all through these guys. And the only way that they can learn to get new tech is by hunting down old STC constructs, so standard template construct machines. So these were the oldest of the old. During the great age of technology, humanity figured out how to make a machine, and it would just continuously pump stuff out for you, right?
Right.
But whenever the Dark Age, or the Long Night came, basically everything really devolved. I mean, like, Mars went to war with itself. Yeah. They had terraformed it. It was a beautiful place. Then they nuked it.
Oh, I didn't realize that in the history, because I know Mars is an important bastion of the history of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
It's where the machine cult first started up. So during the Long Night, everything became more ritualized. So there was no longer any innovation in technology. It was all just ritualized, going through the motions, going through the steps, right? So there is no new tech really being made. It's all old tech that's being rediscovered.
That's a really interesting way of, well, it's a backwards way of thinking almost, but it explains why in the map they're having to explore it from these points. And it shows where, actually let's bring it right in close here. It shows where you can see, if we go in nice and tight. So we've obviously got a large number of Forge worlds and the Mechanicus worlds here. The big swathing gap through the middle where they're really light. And then we've got these expansions out on the eastern fringe here. Okay, well, let's carry on through, because you guys at home can read all about that if you decide to pick this up.
Yeah, although they do have a certain obsession with gathering data, finding new technology.
Which makes sense if it's become a religious cult based around that.
It gets quite irrational at times. I mean, like, if anyone's read the Soul Drinkers Omnibus, you know, the very first book, the Mechanicus are stealing a piece of technology from a Space Marine chapter, which is a relic from their Primarch.
Wow.
So yeah. So they don't care how they get the technology, they just want the technology.
And that's because the Adeptus Mechanicus don't directly report to the Emperor, is that right? They're
an ally of Terra, not a true member of the Imperium. So whenever the Emperor first came to Mars, the Tech Priest looked at him and went, oh right, well, you must be the Omnissiah incarnate. Yeah. So even during the heresy period, there was that thing of, we believe the Emperor is a god, and people just went, oh, don't worry about that. We're not worried about that. Yeah, he's your god. Just keep making the guns.
But we're not getting any hint in this of any kind of Adeptus Mechanicus revolution or anything. We don't think there doesn't seem to be much betrayal in the mist.
No. You see, here's the thing: the Mechanicus, there actually was during the heresy, Mars declared for Horus. So.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So the Fabricator General declared for Horus, got overthrown, and then it had to be rebuilt. One of the greatest things that this book has is it's like a little set of cliff notes on like 3 to 4 pages.
Let's see. Do you know what? You keep going there. I think I know what you're talking about. Let's bring it up here.
It basically gives you very quick snapshots of the historical advancement. Yeah. It's further in than that.
Let's go a little bit further. Here we go. Yeah, so there's no way you guys are going to be able to read this, but I'll show you to give you an idea of the quest for knowledge, what Justin is talking about here.
Yeah. And this is my favourite part of the Codex.
So this is basically just your
cliff notes.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got everything right back from M15, M25, the Age of Technology. And we've got multiple pages going right through the Age of Redemption, the Fall of Caria, and then hold on, let's get this under. This is
another bit of art for you.
Done, and this is what I really love codexes for. Look at that. That is just beautiful.
But those like 4 pages of cliff notes are the highlight of the codexes for me now.
Really?
Yes, because here's the thing. Anybody wanting to get into Warhammer 40k, the world is so vast, so expansive. Having 4 pages that you can sit down and go, I now know what this faction's all about.
How interesting, because for me, I love the stratagems, and I love the warlord traits, and I love the tactics. It's so interesting that the lore is where you kind of get so much from it, which is really nice. They've done a good job of condensing it.
Yes.
Let's
carry on. You see, this is the thing. Tactics and stuff I can learn on the fly.
Yeah.
Getting into the background, normally that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I guess you guys can actually comment below and let us know what you think, because I guess the tactics you're going to learn just by playing. You're going to have something horrible happen to you, and you're going to remember that for next time, because you're like, I need to avoid that. Whereas the lore, unless you're really playing narratively and discussing it with your opponent, you're probably really only getting it from the book.
Yeah.
Or being lucky enough to have someone like Justin sitting beside you telling you all about it.
He's been reading Black Library for years.
Shall we chat about... You can say his name, because I'm going to murderize it.
Okay, this is me getting it right for once.
Okay.
So this is Belisarius Cawl.
Look at that. That's a stunning bit of
He's
art
alive in the world today, and he worked beside the Emperor.
Look at that.
10,000 years ago.
10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And
he has forgot more about technology than most tech priests will ever know.
Oh, what a tombstone! What a tagline for yourself that is.
You see, this is the thing. He still has a lot of the skills within his massive data stack. Basically, this guy stores parts of his memories and stuff away from himself, and when he needs the information, he goes and picks it up. The tech priests can essentially trade out data stacks depending on what they need to do.
That's interesting. So wait, if he leaves his data stack that teaches him how to make toast, and he loses it, he just never know how to make toast again until he goes and researches it.
Essentially, yes. But the cool thing is, he's the guy that made the Primaris Marines.
Hold on. Hold on, stop. We're going to have to put this codex aside for a second. I thought Robert Guilliman was the Primaris Space Marine guy. But
No. He's the Primarch of the Ultramarines, right?
Yeah.
After the Horus Heresy, Robot took over.
Yep.
And whenever he took over, he went, look, the Space Marines, yeah, they're fantastic, but I need something better, Belisarius. I got it wrong. Can you make a better Space Marine?
Yeah.
You worked alongside my father in the Gene Vaults, give it a shot here. So Belisarius goes to work on it, starts making a better Space Marine, build a better mousetrap. Then I believe the project gets abandoned until Guilliman comes back.
I see.
So basically, yeah, this is the guy that made those new Space Marines.
Wow. Now, we unfortunately don't have his model currently is a gorgeous big long model. We don't have one to show you guys in the studio, but I do know that's also coming out to pre-order as well.
And he's no slouch in the game.
No, he is not at all. Let's skim forward a little bit. So when I looked at the models, we have a few out here for you guys to kind of take into those. And I looked at the models of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I was kind of on them. I wasn't really bowled over by them. They're really cool, but they didn't jump out to my personal feeling. But then once I started delving into the art, it really, it won me over. And this is an example that I want to show. So this is some new art for I'm going to skip the name of the Castellan robots, the Cybernetica.
Yeah.
And I think they've captured that so well. That automaton, we're unrelentless, we're just marching forward slowly and steadily. I think they look amazing.
See, I don't know, out of the entire Mechanicus range, this is my least favorite model.
That's it. I was with you. Least favorite model, but the art, I actually went, hold on.
I don't know. The art still, it's not dragging me in for this particular one. But this is the thing. You won't love everything from an army.
No, of course. So we'll rock on. What else have we got? There's obviously loads of detail in here about all the individual troops. If you guys have got any of the new codexes, you'll be familiar with.
Yeah, well, whenever you read about like the Electro priests and stuff, you know, I've actually, again from the Soul Drinkers, they actually ended up fighting them.
Okay.
So Electro priest versus a Space Marine, right? Yeah. This Electro priest grabs him by the wrists and burns his hands off.
Oh, what?
Yeah, both of them.
Does he finish him off, or does he?
No. This guy survives. I will lend you the omnibus at some point because it's a very interesting one.
Do you ever have someone say something and you're just like really thankful for your limbs? So getting into a bit more of the actual technical aspects, what they're going to do in the table. We first of all have what really, for me, sets these guys aside is the Canticles of the Messiah.
Now, is it Canticles or Canticles?
Canticles.
We'll wait for someone from GW to say.
You guys know what to do in the comments. You know how to keep us right. You're going to have a lot to do this episode by the sound of things.
Yeah, but this should be a good one to talk about.
Yeah, so these guys have a bonus depending on the Canticle that's currently being canted. And at the start of every battle round, you're going to be able to change this.
Yeah.
So it's not just an ongoing game thing. And that, to me, is super exciting. Now, I know you picked out a couple, but I want to mention just where my thought process with this goes. You can gain cover. Or treat, even if you're not in cover, you can act as if you are in cover.
Yep.
You can have units have to re-roll, or your units get a benefit of re-rolling ones in the shooting phase.
Yes.
You can also, once you're up close, roll a d6 for each enemy unit that's within an inch of any models affected with the Canticles of the Messiah, which is basically all of them except for the Knights. It's basically anything with any kind of humanoid component at all.
Yeah.
Basically in the army has this. And once you're within an inch, you can roll a d6, and on a 6, you're going to do d3 mortal wounds. So you've got ability to do things when you're charging in. You've got ability to do things when you want to shoot. You've got ability to do things when you're in close. And then you can just come along and add 1 strength to all these guys as well once you're actually full on engaged. Every step of the game.
Well, this is the thing. The thing I like about this is you have the option of either rolling the d6 to find out which one happens. Or actually picking. If you decide to pick, you can't pick the same one twice. And if you're rolling and you roll one that's already been used, I believe the one that's currently active continues to run. So you always have some. It's
a little risk or reward there, but in my mind, if you've got 6 to choose from, most of these are pretty good. You might not have to use the Incantation of the Iron Soul, which is re-rolling field morale tests. You hope you don't have to.
Whenever you get late game, if you're picking and you hold that for like turn 5, whenever you've been in combat and you're about to run away.
You need to not run.
Yeah,
so I feel like picking, if you time it well over the course of, say, 5 rounds, because games can potentially end on round 5, although they can go longer, you're probably going to get to use each one of these once, and then that'll be it. And each one fits quite nicely into a time of the game.
Yes.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, now there are options to actually play a little more risky with this.
Okay.
So I'd like to move us on just a little bit. To the actual Forge World dogmas.
Okay, so let's bring us up to them.
Now, this is something that a lot of the codexes have. They have essentially either chapter tactics, Forge World dogmas, you know, things like that. But for these guys, there are some very cool ones.
Yeah, so I'll just show you guys on the cameras. So they have this entire section here, which has, each one of these is related to a planet, is that right?
Forge World.
A Forge World, because you got Mars, you got Lucius, Gaia. I'm not even going to try and say the rest. But 8 different options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different options.
Yeah. Now, one of the ones that I really like is the one for Mars.
Okay.
Now, it's basically roll twice on the Canticles table and get both results.
Oh.
So if you roll doubles, you do only get the one, but you could be double resulting off that for the whole game.
Okay, so double 3, double 4, any doubles is just not going to do anything for you.
Well, no, you'll still get.
You get the but you don't get the extra bonus.
Exactly, but if it's used before, the one from before continues.
Oh, so you could end up with re-rolling ones in the shooting phase and the morale test. Or but see then, it's tricky that, because I like that a lot, and that's just a consistent dogma as long as you battle forge your army to that Forge World.
Yes, and this is the thing as well. You don't actually have to do the Mars color scheme. You can paint it up however you want, and then say, look, this is a Martian force.
Actually, do you know when you're saying that, I want to go back for a second, because we actually skipped something I really quite like. We were talking about the kind of automatons and how they look, and I did find it funny that was the model they chose to show off the different cohorts of like the Legio Cybernetica.
Yeah.
They actually chose to use this model, and they've shown off a huge amount of different color schemes. And I
quite like the yellow one there.
Do you really?
The bright yellow one.
So this is the
no, down across one.
Down here.
Yeah, that one.
So that's the Sor Methuselis. Oh, I murdered that. Interestingly, I think Warren would love this because the variety is absolutely crazy. I must admit, I think I would be more with the red and cream and grey, something a bit more well recognized, I think, for the Adeptus. But I do wonder why, particularly those units.
Yeah, well, you see, it's a bigger unit that is very easy to show the paneling.
Yeah.
So if you look at one of the Scutari, trying to show that base on, you don't have big blocks where you can show off the color. I mean, like
Makes
even
sense.
something like the Servitors.
Yeah.
It's the same again. From the front profile, it doesn't have the best silhouette to actually try and do it.
Bring this in and show you guys. Oh, sorry, bring you in closer here. So yeah, these guys are not that big.
The big walkers, they have a good silhouette to get lots of block color down on.
Makes
That's
sense.
what the guys at Games Workshop have to think about when they're making these.
And I was happy that they did. I think because I think you're exactly right. They're able to show off just the amount of different variety you can see amongst the Cult Mechanicus. So yeah, cool.
Okay, now back to those
Dogmas.
Dogmas.
Yeah.
There's another one I picked out that I thought was quite a decent one.
Okay, what's it?
So it's from Agrippina. Agrippina, I think it is. So it's for Overwatch. It allows you to hit on Overwatch on 5s instead of 6s.
Okay.
So if you're against a really aggressive force that's going to want to get into melee, you're basically adding, what would be the bloody thing? I think it's like an additional 20%, 18%.
Yeah, so you're saying,
chances of hitting.
So it's this. So the Forge World aspect, though, you're going to have to choose it when you make your army list. You're going to have to. It's not something you can. It's not like the Canticles of Messiah where you can change them up and change the order of them each game. This is something that when you battle forge everything together, each detachment will have this attached.
Yeah, but if you can essentially pick this before the game if you're painting it in your own scheme, and you can say this week I want to be Martian. Yeah. Next week I want to be Agrippin.
Makes sense. So you'll not be able to maybe tailor it to every opponent, but you'll tailor it for every list you play.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the thing for tournaments I have to wonder about. Whenever you come to make your tournament list, do you have to declare your Forge World on your tournament list, or would you be able to just pick up game to game? Because
of the way they word the keywords, if your army is battle forged, units with the appropriate keyword will receive the corresponding Forge World dogma. So you have to give them that keyword, I think, at the moment you're making the list.
Yeah, so for tournaments, you will be picking this beforehand.
Yes.
But at your local club, you can switch this up all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, and test them all out.
Yeah.
We've then got Warlord traits.
Yeah, we can do Warlord traits if you like.
Yeah.
Again, you've got
we've got stratagems as well, of course.
Yeah. So these, again, you can have them themed to your Forge World, or there's a nice generic list that you can run with as well. So let's say we go for the Martian one again. You increase your auras by 3 inches.
Okay.
So say I had an aura of 7 inches. That aura is now 10 inches.
Yeah.
So it gives you bigger bubbles.
Yeah.
So suddenly that 10-inch aura is from the center of your miniature.
Yep.
So it's 10 inches this way, 10 inches this way.
Yeah.
You've got a 20-inch bubble on the tabletop where good stuff's happening for you.
I think like one thing I like about the codexes, and I think we might touch briefly on the tournament scene, when we looked at the indices, and then if you compare the indices Warlord traits to for the Space Marines Warlord traits, for example, one of the Warlord traits you can get in the indices is basically just have an extra wound. Oh, sorry, no, I think I lied to you. It's a 6-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
But in the actual Space Marine Codex, you can have a 6-up feel no pain and an extra wound or an extra toughness. Can't remember which, but essentially it's just the same thing, but just a little bit better. What I liked about these ones for the Warlord traits for the Adeptus Mechanicus is they were very nicely honed and very different. So, for example, you could take Necromechanic, which each time your Warlord uses the ability to repair a friendly model, the model regains an additional wound. So it's something that you really probably wouldn't get in a lot of other forces. You've also got, which I thought was kind of interesting, Mecha Dominator, which is your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls that they make for any of their vehicles that target your Warlord. Because really, Warlords, because they tend to be quite tough, quite wound heavy, vehicles are a great way of taking them down if you can't pincer them in with a large group in combat. So I think in tournament play, in tournament play, you're seeing a lot of swarm lists, I think, at the moment. But vehicle heavy lists, and especially now that things like flying vehicles can just disengage from combat and keep shooting, always have the potential to come in. And that one, to me, would be one that could potentially factor in the future. I'm curious if that one comes up as a big used one.
Well, you see, I picked one out here, and I think it's possibly the most powerful out of the lot.
Give it to me. Which one do you go for?
So it's Monitor Malevolus.
Okay.
Right? So you reroll 1 to hit, to wound, or damage roll per game, right? That's not all you do.
Well, that's just once per battle, yeah.
Yeah, once per battle. But also when your opponent uses a stratagem, you get to roll a die. On a 6, you get to gain a command point.
Oh.
So being able to gain additional command points during the game whenever your opponent's spending theirs.
Yeah, so it's whenever you're... Yeah, anytime your opponent uses a stratagem. So if you think about it, most Battleforge armies are starting with 3, and if they're using the... I was about to say battalion. It's not battalion, is it? If they're usually sitting on about 6.6 command points roughly. So you'd expect to see maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5 stratagems used each game if your opponent's using them proactively. So if you can even gain 1, 2, if you're lucky, command points, it could be a big swing.
It's more for the stratagem.
Well, let's talk about the stratagems then. So what?
Nice segue.
Yeah. So what ones of these did you pick out?
I picked out 3 of them here. So these are 3 that I read and quite
Well,
liked.
it's worth saying that they do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 different stratagems. A lot of them are tailored to the specific units. Like one of the things we mentioned earlier was the knights, for example, tend to be one of the only ones that can't benefit from Canticles. There's a stratagem to give them that for a round. You know, so things that a lot of them are unit specific. But what ones did you pick?
Well, the first one is actually for the Scutari. If you can quickly jump to their profile for me.
Oh, okay. You go ahead and read it, and I'll get
do that. So it is called Protector Doctrina Imperative.
Okay.
+1 on to hit rolls for Scutari. +2 with enhanced spectrum.
Now. I'm so glad because I looked at this one as well, because Dragoons would be a perfect example of this, because Dragoons are Scutari, and they also come automatically, I believe, with the broad spectrum data tether. So these guys are hitting on ballistic skill 3 usually, but with this they get +2, so they're hitting on 1-ups.
Well, ones are always a fail, so it'll always be a 2.
Yeah. So maybe overkill for those guys, but it does mean if they have cover, their negative cover is being cancelled out.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to be basically landing, you know, heavy 2 with their radium. Jeziel is 30 inches. I mean, it can also pick off characters, so those two together could be a character assassination unit.
But if you jump to the main Scutari unit and you load them up just for maximum firepower.
So which ones are you thinking about?
I am thinking the
Scutari Vanguard?
I believe that's the right ones.
Yeah, or the Scutari Rangers.
I think it's the Vanguard.
Okay,
so what's the maximum firepower we can pop out there?
Oh, so they're coming in units of 5, but they can have an additional 5 as well on top, and they're doing assault 3 at 18 inches.
So there's 10 times 3.
And each time you make a rune roll of 6, you're getting to do 2 damage instead of 1. So you're putting down
to hit on.
We're hitting a 3+ usually, but with that would be down to 1+, but obviously bearing in mind 1s or misses.
Yeah, but even if you get the +1, you're hitting on 2s with 30 shots. Yeah. That means you're going to land about 22 of them. And then you have 22 dice to roll looking for 6s.
Only strength 3 on their carbines, but they're a super cheap unit. And was it only just 1 command point, I think, for that stratagem?
I'm not sure.
I'll have a quick check, because that actually, it was the Protectra.
Yeah, that's 1.
It's 1 command point, wow.
Yeah, and if you're gaining command points,
oh man,
that could be horrifying, yeah?
That's cool. Okay, what other stratagems were you looking at?
The next one I picked up was Machine Spirit's Revenge.
Okay.
This one I like because one of the things you have to do in this game now is whenever your vehicle gets destroyed, you roll to see if it blows up.
Okay.
Machine Spirit's Revenge, your vehicle just automatically blows up.
Oh.
So if you've got a vehicle that has been surrounded by loads and loads of melee guys, you can just go, Machine Spirit's Revenge, poof.
That's brutal.
Yeah. I am looking for brutality here. I'm sure people out there are probably going to find even worse things than I can do.
Now, we've seen, obviously, with the orc battle wagons and these kind of things, we've seen there's a variety in the size of explosion you can do. So while you're thinking about that, I'm just going to see, what could we have? So, here we go. So if you put that in a Knight Paladin, when they explode, they roll a d6, and on a 6 they explode, but this would guarantee they do. And each unit suffers each unit within 2d6 suffers d6 mortal wounds. So you could potentially be doing say 7 to 12 inches worth of D6 mortal wounds.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way.
But it's
say
allies
someone,
too. It's friendly units too.
Yeah, but say somebody throws in a couple of mobs of orc boys that are just fully loaded out.
Okay, we're talking about ideal situation here, but yes, I'm with you.
So you roll for your 2d6 explosion, see how far it goes.
Yep.
You're doing d6 into the boys, and then if there's any orc vehicles around there. And this is one of the things I love. With things like this, you could actually, say there's vehicles around you that are also low on health, you automatically blow up. You kill them.
They might blow up.
They may blow up and just dum, 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 all around the battle.
Yeah, the big thing about this as well, though, is it's not like an upgrade or an accessory you take on the knight or take on the vehicle. It's just you think, do you know what, this game's going badly for me.
Yeah.
Or so I need to do something to clear that objective. Yeah. And you just go, this strategy.
Reactor overload, please.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the knight's 24 wounds. You're going to have to time this. And I assume, is this something you do just as they die? Or do you actually have to trigger it and then, let's have a look
across it. So it's Machine Spirit's Revenge should be bottom of the second page, I think.
Okay, so use this stratagem when one of your Adeptus Mechanicus vehicles is destroyed. So do not roll a dice. The vehicle automatically explodes 1 command point. So yes, you don't have to put it on and hope they kill it. Yeah. You just go, it's killed.
Oh, you've killed it. Poof.
Bam. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's one that if you don't know about and you sit across playing a game of this with a friend and they do it
all
to
know
you,
about it.
Yeah, and then someone did this to you without you knowing, you would be mad, wouldn't you?
A little bit.
Why is he sending that unit in at me? Why is he sacrificing that? I don't understand.
Yeah. that knight's almost dead. Why is it just still charging up the field? I don't know.
That was a good choice. That was a good.
Last one I chose was Wrath of Mars.
Wrath of Mars.
So, you play before a Mars unit rolls to hit in the shooting phase. Any wound rolls of a 6 generate 1 extra mortal wound in addition to any other damage.
Wow. Okay, so
there are some of these that are actually themed to Forge Worlds as well, which I quite like.
Now that's kind of tough. I mean, it is 2 command points for that one.
Yeah.
But if you're rolling enough dice.
Yeah.
Especially, I've been playing, the games I've been playing a lot of the time have been against Primaris Space Marines. And the 2 wounds on those guys is a pain. It really is. So having any way to add a chance to throw in a second wound, I'm a fan of.
This is me being mean. Okay? Now, here's why.
Okay.
The first one that I chose, where you're hitting on 2s, and then possibly rolling about 22 dice, looking for 6s, play this into it whenever you're playing that. Now, I'm not sure if you can play more than one stratagem on at the same time.
I feel bad because I'm not actually sure in this either. I know you can't do 2 of the same.
Yeah, but these are 2 different.
These are 2 different. Can you do two different stratagems in the same phase?
If you can do that, that could be vicious. 22 dice looking for 6s.
Yeah, you're throwing 3 command points in for a big round, but if it wipes out a unit of Devastators or wipes out any Intercessors, Hellblasters, you're loving life.
Exactly.
I want to take a second, actually, before we kind of look to wrap this up, just to have a little... We have anyone, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, we have a little thing that's growing on beastsofwar.com where we know Az has excited puppy moments where he gets a bit excited. And one of the things that happened to me was actually looking at... There's a bunch of different combinations you can run the Knights, but... Let me get them up here. So the Knight Warden, comes with an Avenger Gatling Cannon and a Reaper Chainsword. Now, the Avenger Gatling Cannon is heavy 12, strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage apiece. Now that is basically a ballistic skill 3 up. If you can enhance that ballistic skill in any way, you're looking at maybe doing, say, 6 to 8 hits. At strength 6, you're going to be rolling 3s, maybe even 2s. Well, no, 3s probably more often than not. At AP 2 with 2 damage, that's just a Primaris or 2 wound unit killer.
Yeah.
Absolute murderer. And then the Reaper Chainsword. So the Knight Warden's coming at strength 8. The Reaper Chainsword is strength 4 up on top of that. So it goes to strength 12. And it does -3 AP. But the killer is, it does 6 damage. And the Knight Warden has 4 attacks. If you hit 2 of those, you're doing 12 damage.
Yeah.
Like that is just, that to me got me so excited for seeing big Goliaths clashing. And I've seen many big units in the game so far, but it's the first time I've looked at some units new to me and gone, this is Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
This is.
Well, I mean, have you seen the cinematics for Dawn of War 3?
Yes.
That's the kind of feeling I'm getting from this new edition. Because I mean, if you imagine Wraith Knights versus
exactly,
and it's just them rocking in, chainsword going through
against
the middle,
the big Wraith Knight blade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm this codex has kind of won me over a little bit on the Adeptus Mechanicus. For me, they looked a bit like Games Workshop's version of the Borg. They were a bit boring. They were just kind of half machine, half human. But they have so much to them.
Yeah, and then there's a depth of background to them.
Yeah, the iconography, the whole cult, the whole Mechanicus aspect of the entire thing is really rich. There's tons more detail in here about all. Actually, do you know what? Let me flick back about the different patterns you're going to paint your machines in to kind of denote the heraldry of them, to denote their rank. It's wonderful. So whether you're maybe a princeps or a baron or a knight, they go into all the detail of how you should design them, or how you can design them if you want, and it's really won me over. I think I'm going to have to get a game in with them. Yeah,
okay. Well, honestly, I like the look of them. I think I'm still going to stick to my Death Guard.
Oh, well, yes.
That's me. I like Papa Nurgle.
Papa Nurgle.
What? Grandpapa Nurgle.
So this, guys, is out for pre-order from today. So if you're watching this in the future, go and pick it up if you like it. Please let us know in the comments below. Keep us up to date on the mispronunciations and any of the questions we had for you. And we will catch you in the next video.